Okay? So no heart tissue in here. Just gloves and paper towels. All right, so I wanted to show you the pericardial component. So this is the sheep heart. It still has its pericardium. Well, it's parietal pericardium. You notice there's a lot of adipose tissue. That's normal. That protects and insulates the heart and its surrounding. And in fact, on your hearts, if you look at them, you'll notice a white material that's kind of following the interventricular groove as well as the coronary sulcus. And that is protecting the blood vessels that we just named that are found in those locations. Also on this heart is a little piece of thymus. Okay, so I'll save that there. Now you'll notice how it slides. So it's only attached to the heart structure at the base. In other words, where the aorta and the pulmonary trunk and superior vena cava are located. So it's rather thin, and once I open it, I'll leave it attached, and you guys can come up and take a look at it. All right? Just going to open up part of it here. And now my fingers are inside the pericardial cavity. You can see it's not a potential space. There's actually quite a bit of space there. So my fingers inside this cavity are sliding along the inside of the parietal pericardium. So what specific part of that parietal pericardium am I touching? Not visceral. I'm touching simple squamous epithelium, correct. But what do we call it?
Fibrous.
Fibrous is the outside. So it is the serous parietal pericardium. Or you could say parietal serous pericardium. I don't care what order. Now on the outside, this would be the fibrous parietal pericardium. Okay? So again, it's like this heart is wearing a jacket. And the outside waterproof part of the jacket is the fibrous parietal pericardium. And the satin lining on the inside is the parietal serous or serous parietal pericardium.
And the visceral?
The visceral serous is this surface right here. Right? So I'll cut that open just a little bit more.
Visuals are so awesome.
Yeah. That's why
Makes more sense.
once we used up all of these hearts, it will be a little difficult. So here I've cut it open, and now you can see the visceral serous pericardium, or another name for that is the epicardium. Okay? So as I pull this out, you can see it's not attached to the heart at all, except at the base of the heart on these great vessels. Okay? So now the pericardial cavity is exposed. This is the visceral serous pericardium or epicardium. And what I'm holding up here now, you're seeing the inside. This would be the serous parietal or parietal serous pericardium. Okay? So I'll put that back in place like that, and I'll leave it on there if you guys want to come up and take a look at it later on. Okay, now taking a look at your sheep heart. We have a nice big one here. So here, the pericardium has been removed up here. What I'm holding in my hand like this are the ventricles. The darker structures up here are the auricle and atria of the heart. So the first thing you want to do is to get oriented. So coming out of the middle of the heart itself is the aorta. And it may or may not be cut long enough to show branches, but if you put a finger inside, you can feel how thick the walls are around, so you're coming out of the middle of the heart. Okay? Now, you can see here, this is more close to the surface of the heart, and this is a particularly long one. Some of your hearts may have them cut a little bit closer. So now I'm going to put my finger inside that one, and you'll notice when I push on the wall of the heart how close I am. So that's the pulmonary trunk, which is arising. If you look at your models, the pulmonary trunk is very close to the surface. In fact, the anterior wall of the right ventricle contributes to the anterior wall of the pulmonary trunk. So I know that that's my right ventricle now, so in orientation, this would be the orientation of the heart with the right border, inferior border, left border, and anterior surface. This would be left ventricle, this would be right ventricle. If this is right ventricle, and And that means that this structure right here is the right atrium. So you need to find aorta and pulmonary trunk first, and that helps you figure out which chamber is which. If that's the right atrium, this vessel right here is going to be the superior vena cava. So they have a nice long one, all right? And the inferior vena cava, remember, is mostly in the abdominal cavity, but we have just the opening of it right there, right here. Okay, so now my finger is passing through the inferior vena cava and the superior vena cava. And that's forming a straight line like that. You may have that all gone and the right atrium, just kind of a big hole to the right atrium. All right, but that would be the orientation. So I'll go around and help you find those vessels. You may want to come over and take a look. You probably won't have a superior vena cava, so you might want to come over and take a look at theirs. But it's, again, very thin. And now, to open the heart. There's two different ways you can open the heart. You can cut windows into it the same way that the models have kind of a three-sided flap. So you can cut a three-sided flap into each of those structures. Or you can cut the heart completely in half. And so if you're going to do that, that's usually what people want to do. You want to hold the heart so you have the right atria and left atria apart like that, with the great vessels in the middle. You don't want to do it that way. All right? Hold it apart like that, and then cut through all of this all the way around along this edge. Just take the scissors, plunge them in all the way because it's going to be thick muscle, and then just cut around. Okay? And when you open up the heart, you'll be able to see all the chambers. Now, how are you going to orient yourself to where you are in an open structure like that? Because you'll see pictures of the heart on a lab quiz or a lab exam. So you always want to find one chamber that you're comfortable with. Easiest is to choose one of the ventricles. How would you distinguish the ventricles from each other? Now that's hard. The thickness of the outer wall. The left ventricle is pumping against the resistance of the entire body. So it's going to be working out. It's going to have a thick muscular wall. The right ventricle is pumping against the resistance of the lungs, which is less. And it's not working out as much. So it's going to have a thinner wall. Okay. So let me go around and help you guys find these structures. Okay, so if we look down inside now, you can see right in the center is a very thick-walled vessel, and it has one branch coming out of that. That would be your aorta, coming out the middle, and you can feel how thick the wall of the left
I just spend time with Chris. He is just a handful.
Then the other one, thick wall, is right here.
Yes.
I see him all the time.
Pulmonary
I
trunk.
don't see him all the time. I see him like twice, maybe 3 times a semester.
When did you see him? So my finger is
I have
right
a flat
in there.
tire. What, Tuesday?
Okay.
Monday?
So that's the pulmonary trunk. That makes this the right atrium.
I think that's the aorta.
And that would be the opening of the superior vena cava.
Tuesday, what happened?
That's the opening of the
flat
inferior vena
tire.
cava. Right here then is your coronary.
Or to leave at what, 3 o'clock?
And I went out my tire. Okay.
No, this is the
So to open up the right
pulmonary
atrium,
trunk.
you can just cut
Now, how
through
do you
there,
know
cut
it's a
through that,
pulmonary
and
trunk?
open up
Because
the
it
little
goes into
cavity.
the right.
Let me, here's your
goes into the
left
right.
atrium, and you can't just open up all the different veins, you just have one hole in there.
Right
All the space here, but there's your pectoral muscle.
So there, it's up against the wall there.
So examine that, and then
this
if
one
you
goes into the middle.
want to cut the flaps, you can do that, or you can cut around the heart like that.
I'm assuming. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, so this one here we're saying is...
Oh, that's the pulmonary trunk.
Correct. Okay.
And that one.
So that would be a branch of that one.
So it's not the
So that's the aorta?
Uh-huh. So this is arteries. Remember, blood's leaving the heart under pressure. So these have very, very thick walls. So if that's the pulmonary trunk, that makes this the right atrium. And then, oh yeah, thanks. So here would be the opening for the superior vena cava. That was cut very close, and that's the opening for the inferior vena cava. Then here would be right near that's the coronary sinus. How close its opening is for the inferior vena cava. So now you can just cut through that and open it all the atrium up and look at it that way. Over here's your left atrium. But you can't, it's just one opening instead of multiple ones for the pulmonary veins. And there's your pectinate muscle. So you can see it there on the right atrium when you open that.
You would think that would like capture blood.
Yeah, but when you look at the ventricular wall, the entire ventricular wall is like that. And it just seems like a trap for blood clots to form. So now to cut the heart in half, if you don't want to do windows, just cut through like this, put this in the middle, you want to do that. Put that in the middle, and then use your scissors and just cut through. You're just going to have to soldier through that and then cut around. Okay? Can I continue sticking your finger in there so you can feel the artery?
Okay. This is
That's the aorta.
And the aorta goes into the left.
Yeah, but it feels like it's in the middle of the heart because the left is so big.
It goes into the left ventricle. Yes. Not the atrium.
And this is just a branch, and then this is the pulmonary.
It goes into the right ventricle.
The right
ventricle. This model doesn't
yeah, this is the ventricle.
Where's the atrium?
This is the atrium here, this little thing, and then this is the atrium.
Wow, so the ventricles are really huge.
Right.
The atriums are so small.
Yes, and it just comes that way.
Well, they're small there.
Right.
Well, all they need to do is pull blood when it contracts. So once it goes that way, it's pulling blood, and then once it opens, it all pours into the ventricles.
Or the ventricles definitely need to be larger.
Right and left ventricle.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's cool that you can like do that too. Your fingers in. Anybody? No, you get your gloves dirty. Learn have
Take your picture first, Amanda, because I know you want to.
No, you're right. It's over here. This is the right ventricle. Keep it angled because the heart sits like this. Okay.
And the pulmonary trunk is closer to the wall.
Because the way it goes.
So this sits this way in my chest.
But I was saying, what you doing? I'm not sure if it's this one because that's
Have a heart.
the right one. But you know, you see the
So instead of doing this to people when you heart them, is going to be now like, yeah.
and that makes sense.
You know where the heart actually, the shape of the heart actually came from? Like drawing it that way?
Yeah, it came from those fertility seeds or whatever they were from Rome.
Yeah.
Never heard that. I heard it was always the
But then that
shape
would
of a woman's butt and legs as she bends over. Yeah. You have the butt cheeks that go up and then they come down.
No, in ancient Rome, it was like a contraceptive that would stop ovulation in women, but they basically used it into extinction.
Yeah. So it goes kind of around
did you guys see the this was the superior and inferior vena cavas?
I pictured it longer, but it's
Well, this was cut off. There's like, this is just the opening.
So which
the
side
actual,
would be the superior? That
This
way?
is the superior.
That would be
This is the inferior. So the vessels actually aren't there. This is just the opening of the aorta.
The left ventricle mainly takes us
the coronary sinus is close to here somewhere.
The coronary sinus was this in there. So she used this. So right underneath that. That way.
Okay.
This is the coronary sinus, which dumps into the inferior.
So it's not totally up and down though, because the heart. Can you set your heart again?
the right ventricle.
Okay, so it is more up and down. Okay.
And you gotta remember, like, the tubes come out this way, and then this one comes up this way.
This
The tubes are gone.
Yeah.
The
The right,
tubes.
just know that you see the right ventricle.
Just the door. It's just the door.
Left ventricle is my posterior.
So are we cutting or are we slicing?
Yeah.
Just slicing.
Step it. Just step it.
Right on that. Because that's the oracle and the inside. Hey, muscle looking looks good. You're dropping your heart, dude. You're dropping your heart. You feel that? It's like a block of cheese. Maybe I would eat it then. Maybe I would eat it.
I'm not doing a very good center cut. It's very nice.
It's unhealthy.
Ooh, look at the tendon, chordae tendineae.
So that's what's weird. Okay, well, she just said these are openings because I wanted to see the superior vein and the inferior, but she said these are just the openings.
We don't have it.
They have it.
What are we cutting?
She said we can do it 2 ways.
No, that isn't a chordae. Is it a chordae tendineae? No, those are here. That must be one of those things
Like right now, like
about later
this,
that carries the signal to contract.
But do which way do we want to cut it? Do we want to cut it all
Valve right there that you cut.
Yeah, there's the valve.
like this way?
The left atrium.
Oh, this way.
Would it be the bicuspid?
Do we use scissors or do
Look
we
at me go.
Tricuspid there.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just gonna so then you cut around? If that's half? Is that how you went? Like that? Yeah.
How do you guys, are we holding this right to cut it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Cool. Easy cut away now.
That's the valve.
We can.
Yeah, this is the valve.
Cut that bad boy in half.
I don't see the
Just cut it directly in half. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't ignore all
Up here?
No, that's the atrium.
You just said you wanted to cut it in half. You're confusing.
That's into the atrium. So that would be the tricuspid
By the way,
valve.
we done killed the sheep. We stole his heart.
In the middle. So this goes into, I'm just trying to orient myself. This is the aorta.
So it should be a semilunar valve wherever your finger is.
Right.
We could have did heart transplant.
So, oh, that's these right here.
Another sheep could have used this
See
heart.
like that.
Right. Because there's one there, right there. So that's part of the aortic semilunar valve there.
And if it's a aortic, semilunar,
There.
and that
There. So this is the
the aortic one is in the right ventricle?
yes. Wait.
Because the pulmonary is
No,
in
the aorta goes to the. This is the left. The aorta is in the left because it goes out to the body.
scissors.
Yes, doc.
Okay.
So for the right, coming out, that's the wrong one. Coming out here. So this is the left ventricle.
Don't kill our aorta.
That's it. We could probably catch it if we like cut it up this way. So you can't really see it here.
I wonder if that's a quarter tendon.
Yes, I moved my finger.
Snapped it.
What?
You're gonna kill our quarter tendon.
No, that was me trying not to drool all over the table. Not like a gasping of, oh my god, she's going to cut herself.
This turns you on that much that you're drooling?
Drool right now is just hilarious.
I make a lot of slides.
My sister is the same way.
So I'm looking this way, so if I don't like
Drool.
pay attention, it's just going.
So there's the other semilunar valve there.
I just hope it doesn't squirt at it. You hold it.
There's the semilunar of the pulmonary.
In the right ventricle.
There's
Right
another
ventricle
one.
is up.
There's another one.
Okay.
Maybe we can.
So she was saying that if you look at the thickness, you can tell. So this is the thicker one,
Yes.
and that's the left.
This is the right ventricle. This is the No, this entire thing right there
Is left.
is the left ventricle. It's larger. This is the right ventricle.
Because look at the thinner and smaller.
This is just going to the lungs.
Okay.
So here's a papillary muscle.
So it's thicker and bigger because it does more work.
Yeah, and
And
it
has
pumps
the-
more blood out to the body.
To the aorta.
Yes.
So cool.
So this is a papillary muscle.
But it only has a bicuspid. But it's stupid. It's bisexual, but it's strong. It's a strong bisexual muscle.
Papillary muscles look cool.
Because the bicuspid. There's two.
Okay, so these ridges are called
No, those are the carne.
Trabeculae carne. Trabeculae carne. These are the chordae tendonae.
And that's the
This is the papillary muscle.
Yeah, I wonder if it's actually pretty big.
Joe, what's this part right in here?
That's the interventricular
I
septum.
think we're in the left.
Yes,
made out of myocardium.
Super thick.
Okay, say it again. Interventricular septum
Because it's between the two. So
See, now look, that's weird. She said this
separating.
is the whole thing, so this
Separating
is
the ventricles.
Oh, so left atrium.
Interventricular septum.
This is
what
the aorta.
is this the right or the left ventricle?
It goes into the left one. Left ventricle.
That's a left.
But I mean, no.
So this is what valve?
But I'm just saying this
Because
is
what
this
valve
is
is
the
this
right
going to
atrium
the
over
atrium?
here,
Yeah, it is left.
and that's the left atrium.
I just looked left is musculature.
Yes.
Left side of the atrium is
The
what
wall's
valve?
kind of thick though. Look at that wall. It's still pretty thick.
Pulmonary? Bicuspid.
Going in. Yes. Bicuspid, also known as the
You did this right. Look, it's going into here. So this is the whole left ventricle. Maybe
Atrioventricular valve.
also known as the
Because this is.
I don't remember that. Ventral. So the atrial ventricle.
All I remember is her saying this is
From
the
the atrium to the
of
ventricle.
inferior and inferior.
And
so
the
that's why I
valve
was like,
going
oh, this is the right atrium.
here.
So put it together.
Aortic valve. Aortic semilunar valve. Oh, wait.
Here's the
Aortic semi.
Can just say
open.
What cavity is this?
Oh, yes, we come to it.
that is
Yeah, we
the
put
right
the left.
atrium.
We still got the whole right over here.
Right ventricle.
Atriums are here.
Yeah, just slice it down
Bottom
here.
big fat one.
Yeah.
No, that's the atrium.
That's what I meant, sorry. Yes.
Tap, tap, bad boy.
Wrong way or right way?
Kind of giving me a superiority complex.
White box right here. Let me know if done. I can
I feel like I'm playing God. Okay, these ridges of muscle in here are the This hole was the
Atrium.
We cut it to
wrong
the
way or
left
right
one.
way. Okay, so look how thick that wall is compared to
this one.
this one. So this is your left ventricle.
Well, when this was together, we almost thought this was the left over here.
So that's your interventricular septum.
And those papillary muscle looks so cool. Okay, just
And
that's the papillary.
That's
the papillary
the
muscle.
middle of this is right here.
Oh yeah, pectinate.
So you
Papillary
kind of come
muscle is
into the wall
downstairs.
there. So I'm going to
Papillary muscle are what the tendonae are attached to.
Okay,
Yeah.
here. Chunk. Okay.
Yeah.
Capillaries down in the ventricle.
So,
Pectinate.
one of the papillary muscles through there.
Yes, that makes the papillary.
Yeah,
Pectinate.
and papillary muscle here.
What else do we have?
And it's trabeculae carne.
It's where the
Chordae
coordinate,
tendonae.
the papillary is where the
And these are the
coordinate
valve
is.
liquids.
Attach.
For the atrioventricular
How do you
valve.
see?
And then the
Or no, over here is bicuspid.
Bicuspid.
What are these
Here,
ridges?
that's your auricle. Wait, liquid.
Trish, what are these ridges?
Well, there's one there. I mean, the valve is going to be right. Part of it is
The auricle ridges.
on
The
this
auricle
side.
on the atrium.
Here's
on
your
the atrium
left
cavities on the
ventricle, left
outside.
atrium,
Auricle
and
ridges are on the
muscle.
outside.
Okay.
Okay.
And
This is
then
what side?
I'm going to make another cut here.
Cut into a right atrium. Yeah. So the right atrium on here looks really close to
But I should be able to tell
Well,
from the outside.
Just depends on how big. So there's the pectinate muscle there. There's your fossa ovalis right there.
Stick your finger in it.
Isn't this the?
pinkish.
Yeah, most people cut through
No,
it.
this is the
But-
greater.
No. So that right there, feel it. You can feel
Superior,
the
greater-
ridge on this side.
What's that called?
Oh, okay.
That is the pulmonary trunk.
Oh, this is the pulmonary.
So it
trunk.
just
This is gonna be the.
how because I just mean like when we were getting confused on what this is, the left or right.
Remember, I
because
went
it
this
seemed
way.
like it was-
Okay.
So
Remember,
the
everything's
easiest
cut
thing to
open,
do,
so it's not
well,
like
you
it's
know
easy
it's
to tell.
As far as the
Like,
atrium, I mean.
yeah.
This is the pulmonary
So it's
trunk,
going to
and
be
it's-
associated here with the
So
pulmonary
that's
trunk.
the left side.
Uh-huh.
Or they're just fat.
Right here is pulmonary trunk.
Oh.
Actually, sorry, wrong.
Anybody else want to play with the heart and have fun?
And
Did you do enough pictures
once
for
you
your
find the right
collage?
ventricle, then you know for sure that's the right atrium. So it's always good to choose either right or left ventricle.
Pulmonary looks like a
figure out
muscle.
which
The
way it is.
pectinate looks like a web.
Now one
Pectinate
thing, you guys
muscle
have a pretty small one.
here,
So
right?
that
You're gonna have
little
to send me a
band
picture
right
because
here
my
looks
hands
like
are all
it's chordae
gross, I can't
tendonae. but it's going from the wall of the heart to
Pectinate
papillary muscles,
muscles.
and it's called the moderator band.
They're those ridges.
Some of them are really
They look
fat.
like cauliflower.
Not as fat as my finger, but
It's
it's
the major muscles
certainly.
in the atrium, right? If I remember correctly.
I'll show you.
And then when
I'll
you
find
get
it on
to the
another one.
ventricles,
Show it
that's
to you.
the
pulmonary.
It's a shortcut to the conduction system, the electrical signals of the heart.
because it's connected
So
to
now-
the tendinate on the valve.
I actually don't have to cut it. Pull out those forceps right there.
Oh, okay.
Papillary muscle that's
Put your
attached
hand
to the
back in the
coronary
screen.
tendinate.
And then the screen.
We don't call them tweezers.
I know.
So here's
yourself out
semi-inner valve.
What's that?
No, I was talking to her.
Everybody's hands.
So when she's doing it,
Papillary muscle
That hole right there?
that's attached to the coordinate
that hole
tendinate.
for?
Coordinate tendinate's up here.
these we're going to learn about them later.
Exactly right. So it's the blood. So when
These
blood's going
ridges
out, it's
are
going
the
to push this flap up like this.
Okay,
Strings we haven't learned yet, but the ridges are the trabeculate.
Blood
Okay,
comes
ridges
out,
are
it fills
trabeculate
these
carne,
up like
which
that,
has a
and allows
protrusion,
blood
which
to
is the
flow through.
papillary muscle that is,
Now to see your
and then the
pulmonary,
coordinate
here's your,
tendinate are attached to it.
Pulmonary.
So
So
that the valve
see
doesn't go
those valves just
outside.
cut through
Inside out.
like this
Inside out.
along the top.
So over here is the
and
same
you can cut
thing.
into the just cut down through here, and you'll cut into the right.
Trabeculate carne. You have the papillary muscle here attached to the coordinate tendinate.
Got it?
And that is on one of the valves.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
What valve is that?
Yeah.
Coming into this?
That's the aorta ventricular valve,
Yes. Also known as the
bicuspid.
Atrial, not aorta.
Oh,
Atrial.
atrial.
Atrium and ventricle, so atrial.
It's the tricuspid because it's the right side.
A-T-R-I-O.
Atrial ventricular, and
There
then
you
it's
go.
the tricuspid. Yep. Okay. And the bicuspid's left. The bi's left.
What were these
tri-
again, Trish?
Now, can I show you something on the right ventricle? Yes. So I haven't talked about it in class, but I wanted to wait. Oh, you cut it. Okay, sorry, you didn't know it was there.
No, I knew. I cut it anyway.
Okay, see that band right there? It's called the moderator band. It's really tiny in there, so you can hardly see it. There's about the diameter of that. The moderator band is found only in the right ventricle, and it's a shortcut of the conduction system of the heart, the electrical signals that are coming down the interventricular septum and then going over to one of the papillary muscles. So it's not coordinate tendinate, it's just part of the conducting system.
Is that similar to these down here, which aren't really coordinate tendinate?
Well, that one is.
These, I was talking about those, sorry.
No, that's just part of the trabeculate carne. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And then you were looking, before I interrupted, you were looking at your semi-lunar valves. So there's, if you look up in here, you can see the for the pulmonary. Okay? And then for the aorta, if you might want to just kind of cut through here and open that up, and you can find the coronary artery opening, just tucked behind the semi-lunar valve.
Okay, you see it? Do you think it's squirted? And that's the
Yes.
pulmonary chunk, right? So it's pulmonary.
Eyeball juice.
Alright.
Or was it brain? I don't remember. It's one of them.
Oh, the bicuspid.
Is it chocolate too? That's actually really good.
Yeah, but that's what they do.
The scissors?
Scissors are always so dull.
Well, normally this.
They just go into the, they're not between the atrium and ventricular, they're between the greater vessels and the
I was going after Joe.
It's something. What else were we supposed to do? Hey, can you read the instructions over here and see if there's anything else we're supposed to do? Make sure we found everything.
Oh, right there.
To the coordinate site.
I'm asking, can you read it?
Yeah? I have a good moderator.
What does it go into?
It's a coronary artery.
Coronary artery, excuse me. Coronary artery.
And that's what gets covered by the semi-lunar valves when they're open.
So when
It's conducting cells.
that will come up this way.
They're so thin. I expected them to be thick. Like
So did
the,
I.
Like the other valves.
That's really cool.
So you just go up this way.
It might be the moderator band.
Those are really big pockets. Look at that.
They're really big what?
Pockets. This is like one of the pockets on the
How
side.
did
How big that is.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Did you see it covered up?
Would you want to?
Oh wow.
Here's a sandwich.
If we kind of go to like pump water through, make sure we know to see how the valves
Can you put my sleeve up, please? Wait, for anybody with dry hands.
That's left. Here's the part here. This is left. This is the aorta.
So,
The right is this back side. So look, there go your
right,
finger.
this one was cut
So here's
short.
a
We
part of
can't
the
see
right
where
right
the.
here.
So this is
I
the
think
coronary
you're right.
sinus
I think
that you're
that's
talking about.
moderated.
And that goes. It doesn't show where it goes in.
That's what she
It
showed
dumps
us.
maybe right there.
Into the inferior vena cava.
Yeah, we actually do show it. Hold on.
Right through here. Go back up there and then here, or you can show.
What do you mean continue? She just said it was in the right.
Okay. Where it dumps into the inferior.
That's capillary muscle.
Like when you ring? Like, it's a heart-shaped valve.
She said it was, wow.
Well, what there's the pipe was pretty thick. Like it looks bigger than
Anything else
coordinate
anybody
tendon,
want?
you know?
Can they get their hands all greasy? Slimy?
Coordinate tendinate. No. Coordinate tendinate's here. Pulmonary muscle, which is
Capillary.
papillary muscle, which is attached
Here's a little piece of papillary right here. Oh yeah, so that has to be moderate vein. There's papillary and there's coordinate tendinate.
coordinate tendinates are these guys. What is this? Okay.
Trabecular carnate.
Trabecular carnate.
So it's tricuspid.
Is the bottom ridge, which protrudes the papillary muscle.
It's in the
Right, papillary.
Oh, it's in the right
And
atrium.
the papillary muscle has
That's coronary.
coordinate tendinae attached to it
No, coronary artery. Because here's the
close
aorta.
the
So when the
valves.
flaps go up of the semilunar
to make
valve,
sure they don't go
block the
inside out.
coronary artery.
I mean, not to close it, but make sure they don't go inside out.
Yeah.
And then you have,
So where's
isn't it the same
they're
location
super
the
small.
semilunar?
Yeah, when the blood flushes through
is up higher.
into the
Semilunar valves
aorta,
are in the,
it's
are not in the
it goes
chambers of
through.
the
That's
heart,
how the
they're
flaps open. The blood is going into the
pulmonary
aorta.
trunk and the aorta.
There's two of them.
Pulmonary trunk.
Oh, veins. I don't know what that is. That's pretty big. So there should be two over here. It's really cool. Oh, it's like my favorite thing.
Chardonnay. Say these again. Chardonnay tendinate.
Coordinate tendinate.
No,
No.
trabecular carnage.
Yeah, these are trabecular. Sorry.
Trabecular carnage. Why am I not getting it? Trabecular carnage. To the pulmonary muscle.
But stick your finger in the small one and like just feel it like expand.
That is so crazy. So weird.
It's like elastic.
You see how there's two of them? So I'm
You would say it's
You're standing.
muscular.
Where's the other one?
No, it's elastic.
Well, one and then two and then there's three.
Do it. Stick your finger in
Remember we
there.
weren't sure
Do
about
it, Joe.
that. At least I'm not sure about that. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Well, let's see, where does it go to?
Joe's fingering it. Oh my god.
You were so mad, Anne.
I set you up for that one. I had
I'm so good, you can't even speak.
That is like a regular occurrence between the two of them.
Oh, can you imagine everybody else in the other class when they start watching this? Oh yeah.
No, because we were filling on, remember the font?
Oh my god, that's You're welcome.
That goes on unless you send the link to people.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Remember, it's between. It's in the intra-atrial wall. Intra-atrial section. So if we were to put this together,
Put it next to your fetus.
I know. But here,
And put it next to your, what was that, that fetal skeleton you wanted?
yeah.
Do you have the,
Because remember, it kind of
What else
continues in its back
we need to
behind
know?
the aorta. Like if you would
It's
you have
pretty
to
much
stick your
just
fingers
That's
back.
studying.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
Left and right.
Yes.
This is posterior.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think it's mainly in the teeth.
It's just back.
Alright, oh, I understand you though.
And it cushions and protects the
I
arteries.
understand what you're saying.
Well, yeah.
It's really hard.
And especially one for today. I was recording it and then I pressed stop. And
I think that's
didn't even
because
show
it's
it. I was like,
cold
what the
and,
heck
like,
just happened here? I'm like, what is that?
No, I think it's just
That's what I tried to check, but
temperature
look, I pressed record again,
We don't have
right?
anything
And then I
that hard on
stopped it.
us.
And that one showed up for 1 second. I was like,
Well, I mean, it was a bigger file.
it was only 40 minutes. I've recorded these for like an hour.
Okay. Papillary muscle is attached to.
I really was like, oh, you need tweezers. Wow. I forgot they're called forceps.
I think corpus callosum.
They look, they're like tendons, and they look like
Charnay
cords.
tendinae.
Coordinate
tendinae.
Cordae. Not NA. Cordae, not coordinate.
Coordinate tendinae. I got these guys, but this is corpus. Says I've got that.
Yeah, do you see that movie with the brain?
It's a CT.
No.
Of a freshly taken out brain from a cadaver.
Yeah, but it's not.
Let's see, and this is what.
TC. Tuberculate.
Yeah, remember when she showed us a picture of someone, a doctor, like, showing us it?
Tuberculate.
Not to be confused with. Oh, you're talking about that. Okay, well, she showed us. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but those are still ventricles. You're gonna go up here. These are the.
My arches.
Say it again. To it.
These are the trabecular carnae.
Trabecular carnae. Connected to the papillary muscle. Connected to the.
What's this in the atrium?
Atrium. That's the pectineal muscle.
Pectinate.
Pectinate muscle.
Let's hear a
Pectinate. Yeah, the
Like
pectinate
an astronaut with a nose
is
itch.
like your pectorals up top. Pectinate muscle. Pectinate, and this is the.
I keep wanting to say
God, why can't we keep it? Won't stay.
pulmonary.
Tendinate. No.
You're thinking too hard. Go look at your paper and like just burn it in your brain.
TC.
Oh, you can see. You see how you see the little things like this?
Chardonnay. No, carnage, because it's like carnage. Tendinal carnage.
Moderator band.
Say it again.
Trabeculate.
Trabeculate carnage.
Anybody with clean hands want to take those and hand them clean?
Show I can do the cleanest of all of
Where do you
us.
want me to put the? Do you want me to take the sheet or do you got it? When you're ready.
Excuse me, guys. I want to ask her about the sulcus or the groove that divides the right.
Do you want to turn the camera off?
Is this the aortic female?